Hi all, it's Vicky, hope you're well. So we're going to do another Halloween card with ghostly greetings. I'm going to be using the 3 ghosts, the large tombstone, the pumpkin, and also the happy Halloween sentiment. So I've already gone ahead and done my background using these prism inks and a bit of water splattering. I did have a little bit of a mistake dropping my ink pad, but I'm going to cover that up anyway, so don't worry. I went ahead and stamped and die cut my images that I want to use, and I'm going to colour them with my tri-blends. So for the pumpkin, first of all, I'm going to use the burnt orange. I just thought this was quite a nice pumpkin-y colour. I did do a little sample test with just the standard orange one, but I thought this was a little bit more of the shade really that I wanted for my pumpkin. So it's just a case obviously of colouring in with my 3 different shades. I am filling in the eye sockets, so I do go outside the line ever so slightly, or inside it technically would that be, if I'm doing it inside the pumpkin's mouth. Either way, I do make a slight boo-boo, but it's all absolutely fine because I'm colouring the inside of that in black anyway, so that's not going to cause too much stress. So that's just me finishing that blending out. And then I'm using the alpine green just for the little stalk on the pumpkin. I did at one point think they were meant to be brown, but then every time I've seen anyone else colour them, they always do them green, so I've just gone with it. I'm trusting everyone else to know what they're doing. And then I'm just using my standard true black marker. I'm not putting any shading in there because I'm going to put a bit of an effect on it as well once it's all done. So just a nice plain black is perfect for that. Just making sure that I don't leave any little dots of white because it would drive me mental. So for all the ghosts, this one I'm using the ice blue blend. I'm popping a little pop of colour on, just with the lightest shades of the colours that I choose. So this one's getting the ice blue. So all I'm doing is just going around the outside of the ghost. Obviously I'm leaving it majority white, but I just wanted a little pop of colour in those. So that's my blue set done. Then I'm moving on to my next little ghosty, and he is going to be light green around the edge of him. So I'm just going to quickly go around the edge of that one for you guys. I just think it just adds a little bit of extra colour in as well, just instead of just being plain white or grey. I like the colour. The tombstone I am doing in ice grey shades and ice grey blends. So I'm using the darker one, which is the shades, to go around the plinth bit at the bottom. I think that's what it's called, a plinth. And just the edging. And then once I've got my blend done on that, I will use the blend option to do the inside where the RIP is, just so that it's definitely not too dark around that and you can really see the RIP and it kind of pops a little bit. So I'm just going around there. It's kind of a thin space to try and get a blend in around the edges, but there is a blend to it. I think you can see it, so that's always quite cute. So then just working out where I kind of wanted my light to be coming in on that one. So this is just the darker shade of the 3, and then moving on to the mid shade, and then the lighter shade, and then just making sure I get a really good coating so it doesn't look weird in the colouring, and I'm quite pleased with those 2. Then I'm moving on to the last one, so I'm using the same colours for the tombstone again. I did have, I think, the idea for doing these, this is like almost like a little peekaboo option, actually came from, there's a ride at Flamingo Land where my parents have a caravan called Mischief Mansion, and it has like this little, it's like a little ghost train, but one part of it is the graveyard, and they have the little tombstones, and they have one that says Peekaboo, so like P.Kaboo is one name, and then they've got I hide and you seek on 2 of the others. And I've always just, I love a good pun, I'm not going to lie, so I've always loved those. So I kind of was thinking, it'd be really good to just have something popping out from behind them. It kind of made me think of making the ghost like be popping out from behind the tombstones. So that's kind of where the idea came from. I ummed and ahed about what kind of background to use on this. I was going to use a paper background, but I enjoyed doing the blended background on the last card so much I couldn't resist doing it on this one as well. And the background is just blended straight onto the cardstock, and yeah, I kind of feel like I might want some new inks for my blending techniques. They're not blending as well as I'd like, but we'll see. I'll keep going and see how I feel. And then the last little ghosty I decided was going to be the girl. So she gets the pale pink shades on hers. When I was deciding to use the pale pink, I did worry that it would be too pale when I started doing it, but it's just a nice amount of pink, I think. So I was quite happy with the way that turned out. So there's those ones done. So then it's just a case of using my glue to pop it down and create my scene. Oh, and my tweezers. Can't forget the tweezers. I just wanted to check my layout. As I say, I did have that little incident with the ink, so I just wanted to make sure I covered that up with the ghosts or the pumpkin, whichever way around that was, and just to try and get them relatively nicely spaced. I decided to keep it flat, just because I just didn't feel like popping them up, I suppose. I thought it was quite nice just having them on the levels that they're on. So I keep everything in its position, glue up the ghosts, and then kind of use my tweezers and my hands to just tuck them back in to make sure they go in the right place, because obviously they have to be stuck down before the thing that they're hiding behind. Otherwise it's really not going to work, and suddenly all the ghosts will be blocking the tombstones and the pumpkin, which is not what I wanted. So just bear with me while I get these stuck down. The pumpkin and the second little blue ghost do manage to hide the faux pas that I made pretty well, actually. I'm quite pleased with how well I managed to get them positioned just to cover it, which is nice. I love the expressions on these ghosts as well. They are super, super cute. And I'm getting a little bit obsessed with doing these Halloween cards. So everyone in the UK is now going to have to start doing Halloween cards, because I'm in love with doing it. I'm not going to lie. I think the images are so great. And there's something really nice about it. I like Halloween. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I should just move to America. It'd be much easier to get all these American brands that I really like as well. Might have to work on the other half, although I don't think it'll take much to convince him to move to America. I'm not going to lie. So that is the third ghost, and then I just need to pop his tombstone down. You can see on the back of this one there is a stamp imprint, because I originally stamped it, but it ended up with a bit of a double press because it kind of jumped when I was stamping it. Oopsie. So I just turned the paper over and stamped on the other side. Waste not, want not. Gotta be frugal. Then it was just a case of popping my sentiment on. As I say, I went with the Happy Halloween. In hindsight, I do kind of wish that I'd heat embossed it, but you know, hindsight's 2020, and I still think it looks really nice, so that's fine. I'm using my favourite things, Extreme Black again. I am slightly obsessed with this ink. It's really, really nice, so thank you once again, Hook, Line and Inker. Katie, you're a legend. And that's the card pretty much done. The only thing left is I decided I wanted to use my glossy accents just in the pumpkin's mouth and eyes. The last time I first squirted it made a bit of a blob, which is why I tested it on a little bit of paper there. You can't really see it too much there, but it does have a nice little glossy tint to it. And that's everything. Thanks, guys. Bye.